Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News starts right now.
Melbournedale police officers sounding the alarm about a big problem within its ranks. Glad you're with us tonight. Staffing shortages are certainly common right now, but officers in Melbournedale say they are losing officers at an alarming rate.
They believe it's because of a benefits and pay package that is not competitive with fellow downriver communities, and that's led to forced overtime. Mara McDonald is live in Melbournedale tonight, and Mara, recruiting for police agencies is really just tough all over the place.
It sure is. And, you know, then you add on top what they say is a pay and benefits disparity here. But here's the flip side of that. This community is already taxed 24 mils. 24. That's what it levies here. Do you go back to the citizens and ask for more? The city council clearly thinks that's not an option. So somebody needs to start sharpening a pencil.
We are now at the point of being completely and utterly uncompetitive. We are unable to attract, hire, or retain enough officers to even come close to properly staffing our 24-officer department.
Melbournedale has determined that 24 officers is a staffing level that is optimal. Currently, they have 17, with 2 of those positions being administrative, and the officers working the daily grind feel it, enforced overtime that is taking a toll.
For you to come up here and act like we're not doing anything. We did more than any other council.
Members of City Council did not appreciate finding all this out at a meeting and felt attacked until more veteran members of the department explained nobody viewed the council as the problem.
I have nothing against this body, either does the police department. We just want to be seen. We're at a critical point in our police department right now.
The immediate problem is how to attract and retain new officers. The starting pay is competitive. What isn't is when that officer hits the 5-year mark. The difference in salary between downriver departments is astonishing. So is the retirement package. Melbournedale does not offer a pension. That went away more than 10 years ago.
If this police department is allowed to collapse, which it is on the verge of doing, I can assure you this community will be right behind it.
Back here live. So now what? After the meeting that became contentious and then sort of cooled off, you had members of the department, members of the council saying, okay, if this is the situation, what can be done to remedy it? Technically, their contract is not supposed to be reopened for another 1.5 years. Could they potentially reopen it early and try and renegotiate some things? It looks like maybe that's where the number one stop is going to be. We're live in Melbournedale tonight. I'm Mara McDonald, Local 4.
We'll see how it all turns out, Mara. Thank you.
New tonight, friends and family come together to remember a young boy killed in a hit and run. Police say 6-year-old Chase Young was hit and dragged by a car last Wednesday in the area of Brady and Vassar in Redford Township. We've now learned the child died from his injuries. Pamela Osborne live with more on, of course, an emotional night for the family. Pam.
Well, Devin, that vigil got underway around the exact time a week ago that Chase was hit. Today, his injuries were significant, but he held on for as long as he could. His loved ones tonight vowing to fight like Chase. After a prayer and a few words, friends and families released balloons into the sky for the 6-year-old. There were hugs, tears, and grief, the kind of grief that's hard to put into words. 100 or so people gathered tonight, among them 2 firefighters who responded to the intersection of Brady and Vassar the night of the hit and run. They tell us they were here to pay their respects. Police are still looking for the driver of that Chevy Impala that hit Chase and the passenger, both of whom jumped out of that car and ran away from the scene. How someone could hit and abandon a child in the road is something mourners just can't understand.
Chase was an amazing kid, amazing. He brightened everybody's day.
Funny, busy.
He was a busy kid, funny, always had people laughing, full of life, yes.
And the family now asking that person who hit Chase to come forward. If you have any information at all, you should call Crime Stoppers or Redford Police. The family has started a GoFundMe page to help with some of these expenses, now burial expenses for Chase. If you would like to help them with that, you can find the link to their GoFundMe on our website, clickondetroit.com. Reporting live in Redford tonight, I'm Pamela Osborne, Local 4.
And I know many will. Okay, Pam.
The battle over abortion rights in Michigan continued today in a Pontiac courtroom. Today, lawyers battled over a restraining order preventing prosecutors from charging people under Michigan's 1931 ban on abortions. The judge issued that restraining order at Governor Whitmer's request when an appeals court ruled prosecutors could enforce the ban if they choose to do so. If the order is lifted, it would mean county prosecutors could enforce the law. Some have said they would refuse to do so, meaning the legality of abortion could vary from county to county. Outside the courtroom, protesters on both sides made their voices heard.
If it falls in our favor, we will be putting pressure on these prosecutors. The abortion clinics that are located in particular counties need to be closed.
By choice. I'm a mother for choice. I almost died when I had my son. And I know that if I carried another pregnancy to term, I would very likely die.
There are 3 witnesses left to go when court resumes tomorrow morning at 9:30.
Former school principal who has worked at schools all across Southeast Michigan is now charged with sexual assault. 57-year-old Eugene Pratt was arrested Tuesday in Flint on account of criminal sexual conduct. Prosecutors say Pratt is accused of sexually assaulting at least 15 boys and men during a decades-long career in Wayne and Genesee counties. The single criminal sexual conduct charge itself stems from an incident from 2013. Police say the victim came forward to them about 3 months ago. The Genesee County Sheriff, though, believes there are more victims. He says Pratt will be held accountable.
Many times, and we're going to see in this case, you have school districts and different organizations that want things to go away instead of being held accountable. Well, this is the day that he's held accountable.
Pratt is being held on $25,000 bond right now. If convicted, the maximum penalty would be life in prison. More than 130,000 Metro Detroiters remain under the boil water advisory for a 5th straight day.
The Great Lakes Water Authority is asking residents in all 23 communities initially told of boil water to hold off watering their lawns. Crews work throughout the day stabilizing the broken pipe so it can be removed. The replacement pipe is expected to arrive Tuesday. And as of right now, the timeline isn't moving. It still remains at 3 weeks.
2 men who pleaded guilty in the plot to kidnap Governor Whitmer took the stand today in a new trial. Ty Garbin testified the FBI in no way entrapped the men who were members of the Wolverine Watchmen. He did admit he agreed to help prosecutors in exchange for a lighter prison sentence. The other man who pleaded guilty, Caleb Franks, told the jury Adam Fox planned the Whitmer kidnapping. And it's all Fox and Barry Croft Jr. talked about. Fox and Croft are now, of course, being retried after the first jury failed to reach a verdict in their cases. The trial continues again tomorrow morning.
The CDC is searching for the source of E. coli that has sickened people in Michigan and Ohio. The agency reports 29 people were sickened in both states between July 26th and August 6th. The state health department yesterday reported 98 cases in Kent, Ottawa, and Oakland counties for the month of August. Genetic markers on the bacteria show all the patients likely got sick from eating the same food. The CDC is advising anyone with symptoms to call their health provider and write down what they ate in the previous week.
A person in Oakland County is infected with the West Nile virus, the first human infection in Michigan this year. It was found in a blood donation. The donor has no symptoms of illness, which is good news. State says routine screening of West Nile is done in blood donations, and anything that tests positive does not, as you might expect, does not enter the blood supply. Doctors say it's important to realize mosquito season is not